Hi, today I'm here to share the story of how my mother influenced my bird themed leather art. If you don't know who I am, I've been making handmade leather goods since 1977. And it really wasn't until recently I realized just how much my mother had influenced my collection and so forth. My mother has always been a bird lover. If you're a bird lover, you're really going to be interested in some of the things I have here. She was always a bird lover. We lived in Wakefield, Mass, and she generally sat at our dining room table, which had a big picture window, and on the back of the house there was a bird feeder, and so she would sit there and watch birds and so forth. In 1964, when I was 6 years old, dating myself a little bit, my father gave my mother this book. And as you can see, it is very well loved and used. This is a book she gave my mother, a bird book. And every time she saw a new bird in the yard, she would record it in this book, the date and where she saw it and so forth. And so once she passed on in 2003, the book became mine. And I do the same thing. I write down the birds that I see in it. In that same year, in 1964, my parents also bought a place on Lake Winnipesaukee here in New Hampshire, and that's where I fell in love with loons. And so they became prominent in a lot of the things I make, which is, again, a very aquatic, very unique bird. There'll be a video coming out later today that shows the sounds of the bird, or you can listen to it and see some of the loon themed projects I made. So if you don't know what a loon is, you might want to check that out because they are a very unique bird, but they are totally aquatic. So if you don't live near large bodies of water, you probably don't know what a loon is. So in any event, this book has become very important to me. I mark down everything that I see in it. So this was a big influence. But right from the very start, I really didn't realize how much my mother had influenced all the things I make. If I look back through my catalog here, which is how I really realized that, again, my catalog was made in 1978. Notice it has a bird. The loon on the front is a black and white bird. But when I looked back through this catalog, I would say 80% of the projects in here feature a bird. Primarily loons, I'll be honest, but a lot of other birds. Chickadees, cardinals. This was one of the very first items I made. Again, what this is called the letterbox, a desk organizer. This was something I designed myself, but these pictures were from patterns and so forth. And again, so right from the get-go, my first carvings that I did were of birds. So they still continue. And again, I love to carve the birds. They've come out on every kind of project I've made, from notepads and portfolio covers to journals to kind of briefcases to tablet covers, all sorts of things I've made. And again, if you look at this month, if you look at my feed on Facebook or Instagram, you'll see lots of videos and carousels and things of the projects I've made over the last decades and so forth. Many of them are featuring birds. So the birds have always been a theme. But unfortunately, over the last 10 years, interest in book covers has really dwindled. And this has broken my heart because the things that I love to carve are these nature scenes, the bird scenes, the book covers and so forth, with the birds on it and so forth. But as the years went by, so my dad's tennis bag, as the years went by, the book covers and things have not been as popular anymore. Binders, notebooks, tablet covers, like I said, journals, checkbook covers, all sorts of things like that used to be some of my most popular items. But as time went on in the digital world, remember, I started before computers, before cell phones and things like that. So people cherished books and read books and wrote things down in books and stuff. People don't do that anymore. Everything's on your phone. Everybody keeps their notes on their phones, or their photos are on their phones. So photo albums died out. So as the years went on, interest in the book covers kind of dwindled. And that really broke my heart because I'm almost in tears now, because carving these pictures is really something I have a real passion for. And because people weren't buying them anymore, it really saddened me. So I kind of lost my way for a little bit, didn't really know what direction to go, because if I couldn't carve book covers and things, what I could do with them. And actually had a lot of pictures that I had started that I didn't know what to do with. So some of those I actually turned into bags, tote bags, and so forth. But some of the other pictures, again, I didn't know what to do with. So I'm trying to rethink them into something else. But again, the covers are not really popular anymore. So I really lost my way a little bit and really didn't know what direction to go in anymore. I mean, my things like my belts have always been my best selling line. That's not nature themed, so that was a little different. But the nature things are really the things I love to carve and paint. And without that, the need for that passion anymore, I was starting to, lose my passion. In 2020, though, I did buy a piece of equipment called the Glowforge, and that really helped me rekindle my passion once again. And it's really around that time that I realized how much my mother did influence all the things I made. So that's stories that I will be telling in the month of March, because that is when the month that I got the Glowforge. So I'll be sharing those stories that month. But again, my mother has influenced my art. Even though she's been gone, she still influences me. That birdwork still is something very important to me, and I use on a regular basis to carve the birds to get the realistic colors, things like that, because most of my art is all realistic. So I'm basing it on the real thing. And so I use that as my guide. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up today. My mother, again, influenced my art, lots of my bird carvings and so forth over the years. If you're interested, please follow along with me on Facebook, Instagram, on YouTube. Also, I have a channel to see some more of my videos. This month, I'm sharing the stories of how I started, because this is a month I'm celebrating my 48th year of doing leatherwork. So I have lots of videos showing, again, carousels, reels, showing all these nature-themed products and so forth. This afternoon, a video will come out about loons and the sounds they make and all the projects on those. So I would appreciate, if you know nature lovers, please let them know. The other thing I will say about all these covers and stuff, I will still do things like that for custom orders, because I love to make them. So if anybody's interested in a custom cover, that will be something, I would consider doing. I work back and forth with you, trying to get the right size. If it's a particular book or something you want covered, I can do that. I need to know dimensions and stuff. Most of my covers are a slide-in cover, so it's replaceable. The exception to that would be maybe a binder, which, the binder is attached to the cover, and so a notebook and things like that. But if you're interested in things like that, I would be glad to make them. And I'll work with you to make the scene and so forth that you want. That's going to wrap it up, I think, for now. Thank you very much for following me. There's also a link below this video or in my bio if you want to join my VIP Insiders, which is my email list, and you get early bird access to my product launches, information about the sales, my other events that are going on, my in-person events and so forth. You get more behind the scenes looks at what I'm doing and, things so you know what's happening when, so you can plan if you want to watch any of these things. So that's going to wrap it up for now. I'm just checking messages. I can't see that far without getting my face too close to the camera, which is kind of scary, I know. So that's going to wrap it up for now, I think. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you for watching.